What's going on, everyone? Mr. Octagonal here. Now today we have an NBA 2K19 rebuild, our first one in a while. We're going to be doing a Zion Williamson New Orleans Pelicans rebuild. Of course, the Pelicans did just win the draft lottery a couple days ago. I was on the edge of my seat watching it the whole time. That was absolutely crazy. So I do plan on trading away Anthony Davis here, probably to the Lakers or the Knicks. This is a post-com. My live com didn't save, so I do know what happened to Anthony Davis. So let's see who wins the NBA Finals in the game. In real life, Warriors over Bucks. Could see the Raptors making it, but other than that, I mean, it's gonna be Golden State. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. So, as you can see, the Milwaukee Bucks win in 7. Giannis Antetokounmpo Finals MVP. So the Warriors lose. That's how their dynasty likely ends. So, obviously, we will get the number 1 overall pick. Doesn't really matter what happens in the draft lottery. I will make sure that we get Zion. But in the game, they would end up giving it to the Phoenix Suns. We have the 9th pick. Obviously, that will change, as we'll get pick 1 and likely another pick for Anthony Davis. So here's the plan. We're going to get pick 4 from the Lakers. We're also going to get Kyle Kuzma, Lonzo Ball, and Josh Hart. The reason why they're not in the deal right now is because they all have team options that have to be accepted. So once the draft is over, we will get those 3 guys onto the team. So Kuzma, Lonzo, Hart, and then hopefully either Ja Morant or RJ Barrett will be joining the squad. So Anthony Davis and LeBron James will now team up in the City of Angels with the Los Angeles Lakers. Obviously, this very well could happen in real life. Likely the Lakers or the Knicks, I think, are the most 2 likely spots. So the first pick, obviously, we're going with Zion Williamson, the theme of the video. Easy choice in real life for New Orleans. If they don't get Zion, they'd be pretty stupid. So as I said, hoping for RJ or Ja. Probably since we have Lonzo, I'd prefer RJ Barrett, but Ja Morant works too. So welcome to the team, Zion. Cavs and Bulls. Will they screw us over? And the answer is yes. RJ Barrett went 2 to the Cavs. Ja Morant went 3 to the Bulls. So, as we can see in the trade finder, I looked up trades for pick 4, and I can make a little move for Ja Morant. So, that's what I ended up doing. I did want to alter that deal a little bit. I didn't want to give up that first-round pick next year, but Ja Morant is now a member of the New Orleans Pelicans, along with Zion Williamson. Those 2 are going to be a scary duo with the guys we already have. Drew Holiday, Julius Randle, Kyle Kuzma, Lonzo Ball, Josh Hart, of course, from the trade. And then for a second-round pick, we got Lou Dort. I think he has first-round potential in real life, and I really want to say this name throughout the rebuild. So, welcome to the team, Lou Dort. That's such a fun name. That's friggin' lit. So, looking at free agency, I'm tempted. I'm really tempted to go after some of these guys, but just for this first offseason, I want to keep it somewhat realistic, and then next offseason we can go crazy. So, Julius Randle is there. We need to re-sign him, and spoiler alert, we did end up bringing him back. 4 years, $91 million, I believe it was, and we're also signing Dedrick Lawson because go Jayhawks. Rock chalk, baby, you know what it is. And then some of our other free agents, like Elfrid Payton, ended up accepting on qualifying offers. And look at this. Now, Check Diallo, apparently, it says he went undrafted. I'm a Kansas fan, so I know him pretty well. I could have sworn he was a second-round pick. Am I tripping or is 2K tripping? I don't know. So here's the starting lineup. I put Zion at small forward. I've seen him cheese like crazy there. Giving him 48 minutes. So the starting lineup is going to be Ja Morant, Drew Holiday, Zion Williamson, Kyle Kuzma, and Julius Randle, with Lonzo Ball coming off the bench. We're only going with an 8-man bench. He is coming off with Josh Hart and somebody else, so I'm totally blanking on right now. I don't know why I'm not scrolling down. Jahlil Okafor, that's who it is. So Okafor and Josh Hart are also getting minutes, along with Lonzo and the rest of the starters. I would say realistically, I think this is probably between 40 and 46 win team. I don't think this team is a legit contender on paper. I also don't think this team is terrible on paper, and at the trade deadline, even though we just lost to my Pistons, 41-14, that is not too bad. Zion is the front runner for MVP. That's what you get with 48 minutes a game. Now, I checked. Apparently, he's only playing like 39, so I assume he's fouling out a lot. That's probably why he's not playing the full 48 minutes. But very good to see Zion dominating. So I really consider making a move with Drew Holiday or Julius Randle. Both of them are on pretty big contracts. I want to spend big next offseason. But after really thinking about it, this team has a legit shot to win the championship. So why really break up the core of this team? However, I do want first-round picks because I am addicted to picks. So look at this. The Los Angeles Lakers are 18-37. They're doing that bad with LeBron and Anthony Davis. Now, yes, the rest of our starting lineup isn't great. They have Isaac Bonga in there. But with LeBron and AD, I'd expect better than 18 wins. I did see Stanley Johnson as their sixth man, so maybe that explains a lot. So we end up getting a pick from the Timberwolves. They weren't totally awful, but they weren't necessarily good, per se, either. I think they probably had like the 5th or 6th worst record. So the official deal is we're sending Jahlil Okafor, Josh Hart, Cheick Diallo, Elfrid Payton in 2 seconds for the first, as well as Keita Bates-Diop, Jordan Crawford, and Kosta Koufos. So getting rid of our decent chunk of our bench, but our top 6 core guys are still intact. And I don't think that'll make too big of an impact for his long term. So the guys got a few more minutes, and I think I gave some other minutes to some other players off the bench. I think I gave them to Kenrich Williams, Cheick Diallo, and Luguentz Dort. Why not give the rookies a little bit of playing time? And I want to see Dedrick Lawson succeed. So that explains my logic with that. So let's see if this team can do pretty well. And as you can see, 58-24, beating the Golden State Warriors. And your MVP is Zion Williamson. What a year he had. 25, 11, 5.5. Incredible defensive stats. I think he should have won Defensive Player of the Year. As solid efficiency. Obviously the 3-point's not great, but he's not known as a shooter. So he'll get a 3 pass. 53 double-doubles. That is a lot for someone who's only 6'8". Just an all-around great year from him. He also wins Rookie of the Year. Lonzo wins 6th man. Giannis wins DPOY. I really thought that Zion did deserve Defensive Player of the Year. Marvin Bagley, Most Improved. Brett Brown, Coach of the Year. So we get 3 awards, which is pretty nice. Zion makes the All-NBA first team. Obviously, not shocking. There's AD on the second team. And our only other players who made an All-NBA team is the All-Rookie first team with obviously Zion and then Ja Morant, who had a pretty solid year as well. So we have a 1 seed taking on Rudy Gobert, Donovan Mitchell, and the Utah Jazz. Unfortunately, we don't have the best record in the NBA. Sixers are 2 games better, but it's no big deal. We can do this, guys. Come on, let's do it. We lose game 2. That's unfortunate. However, we would gentlemen sweep them in 5 games, taking on James Harden and the Rockets here in the second round. I really was not super confident. I really did not think we were going to win this series. And as you can see, 1-1, 2-1, 3-1. Don't blow a 3-1 lead, guys. And we win in 5. Now, taking on OKC, Russell Westbrook and Paul George. Once again, another challenging series. They win game 1. But here we go, winning game 2. They take game 3 in New Orleans. And we don't want to look back as we win game 5, but they win game 6. However, we close it out in 7. We're going to be facing Giannis and the defending champion Milwaukee Bucks here in the NBA Finals. The Bucks actually got a decent bit worse. They don't have Chris Middleton. They don't have Brook Lopez. And their only notable addition was Terrence Ross. So this team is definitely worse, and we can certainly beat them. Can we do it? They win game 1, unfortunately, but we win game 2. We also win game 3, so 2-1 series lead, make that 3-1. And sure enough, the New Orleans Pelicans in Season 1 of a rebuild are NBA champions. I promise the sim difficulty was on 50. Zion, Finals MVP, of course. What a year he had. So now on to the offseason. We're going to try to go for the two-peat. So look at that. I'm trying to change the rule for the lottery. An elimination tournament to get the number 1 pick. That sounds sick. However, I am doing the 14% chance. Abolish the salary cap. That's pretty ridiculous. And then change the shot clock to 35 seconds. These rule changes are so stupid, but yet so funny. But that elimination thing to get the first pick honestly sounds really cool. I might want to make a video on that. I think that'd be a ton of fun. So on to the draft lottery. It does look like the Timberwolves did pretty good. But look at the Pistons. With the 11th odds, my Pistons move up to pick 3. While, as a Pistons fan, it makes me smile, At the same time, if the Timberwolves were a tad bit worse, that probably could have been us moving up to 3. Unfortunately, we have 12, which isn't bad. So, congratulations, Pistons. Top 3 pick. And I want a top 3 pick. I am addicted to picks, and sure enough, I ended up getting the 3rd selection from the Detroit Pistons. If Timberwolves were a little bit worse, I wouldn't have to trade for this pick. But, oh well, we're still getting it. We traded a bunch of draft picks along with Frank Jackson. Jackson is the only player in the deal, but look at that. 4 first-round picks, including pick 12. I know that's a lot, but I'm trying to win now. I don't care about 2024 picks, so we set. Also, it says Michael Stauffer was hired by the Knicks. That is a total lie because, as you're about to see, we ended up firing Alvin Gentry, and sure enough, Michael Stauffer was available. So, Gentry, he was very enthusiastic when it was announced that the Pelicans got the first pick, and while he did win as a championship, those ratings are probably not going to get us a two-peat, so we would end up going after and then signing Michael Stauffer. So with the 3rd pick, we took R.J. Hampton, pretty much best player available. We don't need a guard, but he's likely going to be a trade piece. The first 2 picks were James Wiseman and Anthony Edwards. And welcome to the team, R.J. Hampton. With our other picks, we got Ashton Hagens, another point guard, and then Kenny Wooten, the big man out of Oregon. Pretty much just going best player available with both of those selections, hoping that either of those players have some trade value for us. Negative 4.22 mil, now at only 1 mil, but look at this. Anthony Davis is in free agency, and he was on the worst team in the NBA last year, record-wise, and I'm too tempted. I have to go after him. I just find it so funny that we get this chance. Unfortunately, we only have, not a lot of money in cap space. So, what I figured it would make sense to do is trade Julius Randle. Julius Randle's a great player, but he's on a big contract, and it's only fitting that we trade him to AD's former team, the Los Angeles Lakers. That's also Julius Randle's former team, by the way. This trade is perfect for us. We clear up cap space. We're not taking in any cap space, and we're getting 2 first-round picks that we can use as trade value. And then, sure enough, Anthony Davis accepts the contract. So, welcome back to New Orleans, AD. So, we basically got Kyle Kuzma, Lonzo Ball, and an asset to move up to the 3rd pick for 3, which is crazy. Unfortunately, that does mean we'll have to let Dedrick Lawson go, which is sad, but we have to do it. Maybe Anthony Davis is some kind of cancer. I don't know how the Lakers did that bad with him and AD. And then I figured it makes sense to go after another big trade. So 2 first-round picks this year, along with R.J. Hampton, Luke Gantz, Dart, and Keita Bates-Diop will get his Donovan Mitchell from the Utah Jazz. So this means Drew Holiday and Lonzo Ball will be a phenomenal tandem off of the bench. That is scary. Just one of them off the bench, but 2 of them? That is frightening. Frightening stuff right there. These teams do not want to mess with us. And then we accept a deal with the Orlando Magic. We need some big man depth, so we got Mo Bamba in exchange for Kenny Wooten, Ashton Hagens, and a bunch of draft picks. We need depth at the big positions. Our only actual big men are Zion Williamson, Kyle Kuzma, and Anthony Davis. We don't have any backups. So, I got fooled by this. Look, it says 26 mil, so I figured we could use another forward, so I decided to go after Donkey. But, of course, that 26 does not account for Anthony Davis' contract, so, unfortunately, we were not able to bring in Draymond Green. I think he would have been a good addition for us. We don't really have an official backup forward. Drew Holiday's not a forward. Mo Bamba's not a forward. So, looking at the team, the starting lineup, only difference is Donovan Mitchell will be at the shooting guard position, and then Anthony Davis at center. I decided not to totally cheese with Zion's minutes. He only gets 41 this year. And then the bench is Drew Holiday, Lonzo Ball, and Mo Bamba. So I think if last year's team could win a championship with 360s coming off the bench in the playoffs, I think this team can too. So 68 wins, another MVP for Zion. He was even better than his rookie year, not by that much, but he was better. The only stat that went lower was rebounds, and that barely got lower. Of course, R.J. Hampton wins Rookie of the Year, but still a good trade for us getting Donovan Mitchell. Serge Ibaka, 6th man. Anthony Davis, Defensive Player of the Year. Once again, I thought I should have gone to Zion, but shoot, okay. Marvin Bagley wins Most Improved Player. He also won Most Improved Player last year, so 2 straight Most Improved Players. Look at the jump from 2018-19 to 19-20. He barely improved. That is 2K in a nutshell for you. This game does not know how to control most improved player. And then Michael Stauffer did win Coach of the Year. Zion All-NBA first team. Anthony Davis All-NBA second team. AD All-Defensive first team. Zion Williamson on the second team. And we didn't have any rookies. LaMelo Ball and the Pistons. I can't say I love that. So in the first round, we're going to be playing the Utah Jazz once again. Obviously, we did acquire Donovan Mitchell from them, but they are still the 8 seed, and we are still the 1 seed. This team is very different. Their only same pieces were Rudy Gobert, Joe Ingles, and Dante Exum. They, of course, added R.J. Hampton. They also added Patrick Beverley, Alex Len, Tobias Harris, former Piston legend. So I think this is a series we can win. This Jazz team isn't bad. And as you can see, we're not really having much trouble with them, and we end up sweeping. And then we're going to be taking on the Phoenix Suns. It looks like they're finally getting some success. And unlike the Jazz, this team is very similar. They drafted Darius Garland, which could happen in real life. And they also signed Terry Rozier, which I think makes a ton of sense for them in real life. Even if they draft someone like Darius Garland or Kobe White, both of them are still raw. And Terry Rozier for a year or two, I think, could make sense. Still got Booker, still got Ayton, of course. So we take a 2-0 lead, but then it all comes crashing down. 3-2. We have it in the bag, and we lose. The Phoenix Suns beat us in the second round of the playoffs. That is unfortunate. The Suns would end up losing to the Oklahoma City Thunder, who would end up beating Kevin Durant and the Indiana Pacers in the finals. I think the Pacers made it. Nope, Sixers made it. But OKC did win Russell Westbrook Finals MVP. So I'm going to end the video here because I kind of got to get this uploaded pretty quickly. We did win a championship in Season 1. If we didn't win that ring, I probably would have kept going. So here's a final look of the team. Anthony Davis, who we, of course, traded and then signed back the upcoming offseason. I guess Anthony Davis is a cancer. If we couldn't win this year, but we did last year. Rest of the team, Zion, Donovan Mitchell, John Morant, Drew Holiday, Kyle Kuzma, Lonzo Ball, Mo Bamba, Evan Turner, who apparently his backup position is a point guard. I never knew that. Vince Hunter, Shelvin Mack, Eric Gordon back in New Orleans, Justin Anderson, Marvin Williams. All these guys on the bottom are scrubs. So that'll end the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Next offseason rebuild will probably be John Morant with the Grizzlies. I sort of want to go in order. So 2 straight rebuilds with Ja. Pretty cool.